Hello class, today I'm going to present the Battle of Antietam. What was the Battle of Antietam? Well, the Union name came from the creek nearby, also called Antietam. In the south, the name of Battle of Sharpsburg was more common, since there was also a nearby town where they fought that was called Sharpsburg. The battle began in the first place because the Union wanted to prevent the Confederates from invading the state of Maryland, which was considered one of the greatest threats to Washington, D.C. The Battle of Antietam began on September 17th, 1862, when Confederate D.H. Hills and James Longstreet units formed, and when the Union soldiers arrived, and the Confederates were just waiting and watching, how many soldiers we're going to have, since, the Confederacy did not have enough soldiers. So George McClellan, the Confederate general, no wait, the Union general, he was beginning to rally his troops and form them, and the Confederates just watched and studied them, and they turned to the offense, which was smart of them, to prevent from being overrun. And because of that, they turned the whole field into a massacre. And 8 hours in, there were over 15,000 casualties. These two armies fought in a 30-acre cornfield, and the Union soldiers took the first blood, and the carnage began. When Commander's French troops arrived, close-range combat continued. And near the center of the battlefield, there was a place known as Sunken Road, where Hill's men, the Confederate general's men, put fence rails so they can defend themselves against the Union. And like I said, there was a lot of close combat, which that's why they call it Blood Lane. There was a lot of killing going on in there, a lot of gore. And for more than 3 hours, fewer than 500 Confederates held Lower Bridge until reinforcement arrived and pushed the Union back. So if you think about it, that's pretty scary. 500 Confederate troops held the entire Union Army for more than 3 hours. That's pretty scary if you think about it. But somehow they did it. And when they did push, and when they did, more than 5,000 men were either dead or injured. And of course, like I said, the fighting was so gory that this little road learned its nickname, Bloody Lane. Sooner or later, the Battle of Antietam ends, and it earned its name, of being the bloodiest battle in the Civil War. 12 hours of intense and close combat ended up with 23,000 casualties, including 3,650 dead. As night fell, thousands of bodies were laying sprawled all across the field, and both sides regrouped to get their dead and wounded. As General Robert E. Lee, the Confederate general, moved his troops back to Virginia, the Union general, George McClellan, did nothing. And even though he had the advantage to shoot or fight back, right, since they were at a weak stage, he allowed General Robert E. Lee to retreat without a fight. In McClellan's mind, he knew he accomplished his mission, his goal of forcing the Confederates to retreat and preventing, the Confederates from winning. However, President Abraham Lincoln wasn't so pleased about this and thought it was a missed opportunity and fired George McClellan after disobeying the president's orders. And of course, the outcome was that was the single bloodiest day in American military history, and it ended without a win. It ended in a draw. But the Confederate retreat um, gave pretty much President Lincoln his victory in quotation marks. It gave him the confidence and the confidence he wanted to issue the Emancipation Proclamation 5 days later. Here's my works cited, and thank you guys for listening. Hope you guys learned something. Feel free to ask any questions. I'm just checking here if I'm not missing anything. And hope you guys have a great day. Thank you.